Shall we start, sir?
I think Nitin sir is going to join soon. So
Yes.
we'll just wait for 5 minutes, ma'am.
He had joined, sir. He had joined.
And Nitin sir is joined right now.
Gohad, sir, shall we start?
Yes, we can. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Good morning to one and all present today. I, Dr. Archana Deshmukh, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Jawaharlal Nehru Arts, Commerce and Science College, Wadi, welcome you all on the virtual platform of online classes of BA, say Part 2, 4th semester in English Literature 21-22, jointly organized by Rajkumar Keval Ramani, Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, Vasantrao Naik, Government Institute of Arts and Social Sciences, Nagpur, Jawaharlal Nehru Arts, Commerce and Science College, Wadi, Nagpur, and Rajiv Gandhi Mahavidyalaya, Sadak Arjuni, Gondia. Respected conveners of the organizing colleges, respected Dr. Sujata Vyas, Madam, Director, Vasantrao Naik, Government Institute of Arts and Social Sciences, respected Dr. Urmila Dabir, Madam, Principal and Chairman of Board of Studies of English, RTM, Nagpur University, respected Dr. Kalpana Borkar, Madam, Principal, Jawaharlal Nehru College, and respected Dr. Anil Gaikwad, Sir, Principal of Rajiv Gandhi Mahavidyalaya. Today, we are honored to have with us Dr. Nitin Gohad, Sir, as the resource person, and he is going to conduct a session on a poem, Dover Beach, by Matthew Arnold. But before we start, let me introduce Dr. Nitin Gohad, Sir. Dr. Nitin Gohad, Sir, is an associate professor, head Department of English and NAC and IQAC coordinator at Yashwantrao Gurde Patil Memorial College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Nagpur. He has a vast experience of 16 years. At present, he is a member of Board of Studies in BA, Rural Sciences. He was also a member of Translation Committee of RTM Nagpur University in 2012 and 13. He has been invited to judge many debate and elocution competitions. He also has several poems written in English and published in reputed books and journals. He has published 25 research papers in national and international journals of repute. So, I request Dr. Nitin Gohad, sir, to kindly start his presentation. Nitin Gohad, sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, madam. It is my proud privilege to join this session and present my views on the world famous poem written by Matthew Arnold, that is Dover Beach. So I have prepared my PPT also. Can I share that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Wait a minute, I'm just searching that. Wait a second.
Sir, is there any issue with the PPT?
Yes, actually, I'm not finding that in documents. Yes, yes, yes. Hello.
Yes, Gohad sir, we
Hello?
can see your PPT now. We
Yes,
can
yes,
see,
yes.
sir. It's
Okay.
visible.
It's visible.
Yes, 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 yes. So I'm going to present my views on the poem Dover Beach, written by Matthew Arnold. Now we know that Matthew Arnold is a Victorian poet, and he has written his world famous poems in that Victorian era. And why it is called Victorian era? Because in that age, England was ruled by Queen Victoria. Now, before venturing into the poem, we have to find out what was the general outlook of that age and how the society was at that time, how their thinking was at that time, and why this sadness, this melancholiness, this despair we can see into his poems. Now, in Victorian age, there were famous poets like Robert Browning, Tennyson, Matthew Arnold. And if we compare these three poets, we can easily see that there was optimism in the poems of Robert Browning. And moreover, it was also seen in the poems of Tennyson. But when we study the poem of Tennyson, we can see that some of his poems are optimistic and some of his poems are pessimistic. But when we study the entire poetry of Matthew Arnold, the pessimistic approach, the pessimistic attitude, the despairness, the cheerlessness, hopelessness, we can easily see that in his poems. So, what was the reason why Matthew Arnold wrote his poetry in this pessimistic tone? So, we have to find out that. So, what was the reason there why the tone was pessimistic? So, in that age, we see that there was a world famous book written by Charles Darwin, The Theory of Evolution. And what does that theory of evolution propagate? It propagates that man is not the direct ancestor of God. Man has come, man has been evolving since long ages. So the predecessors of man was monkey apes. So we were not the direct ancestors of God. God had not made us, and we had evolved long back. We had been evolving long back, and this present shape we had got by that evolution. So by reading this theory of Charles Darwin, the faith of human beings in Bible had just reduced. So that is why this faithlessness had come from that theory. And moreover, there were very uh, scientific inventions, very new scientific inventions were made there. Life had become very easy for people, and industrialization, industrial developments are also there. So moreover, the scientific accuracy, the scientific approach had pierced into the minds of people. So when science comes into the life of human being, the religiousness, the faith in religiosity, that goes down. So that was the main reason why in this Victorian era, the belief, the faith into religion and Bible had reduced. So that approach, that uh, religiousness, that mm, loss of faith in religion is easily seen in this present poem. So, introducing this poem was published in the year 1867. It is one of Arnold's best poem, and it is also regarded as the representative poem of Matthew Arnold. And it contains his general outlook of that present life, of his present era. It is also written in a form of lyric, and elegiac note is prominent in this poem. So this is the general background of this poem. So when the poem starts, we find out that the scenery is taken on the coast of Dover. Dover is a world famous coast which is situated in England. And when we read this poem, we imagine that the poet is looking through the window of a house on a shingled beach as Dover, which is situated in England, in moonlight, and hearing the roar of the waves advancing and retreating back. The sound of the waves strikes him as being sad. So Matthew Arnold does not hear, or he does not get the realization that the sound which is made by the waves, the sound of the waves is very sad, is melancholy. No delight is there in the waves of the sound. So, what does it suggest? It symbolizes the crumbling religious faith of human beings. So, Matthew Arnold compares the sound of the waves, this sadistic sound of the waves, the sad sound of the waves, with the going down religious faith of human beings. Hearing the waves he is reminded of the spiritual doubt and uncertainty which prevailed in the world. As I had said earlier, why this attitude had been pierced in the mind of the people because of the scientific inventions, because of the industrialization, because of the theory of Charles Darwin. These were the prominent points which were behind it. He refers here to the religious skepticism of the 19th century, which resulted from the great advances in scientific thought. The poet feels sad to reflect that religious faith had crumbled away from the world and that its place has been taken by the religious doubt, unrest, and anxiety. A world without religion is like a barren seacoast. The life of mankind in such a world is purposelessness, aimless, meaningless, and void. So, this we have to think that this approach, which is dealt by Matthew Arnold, how it came to in his mind. Now, going back to first stanza, the poet, I quote, "The sea is calm tonight, the tide is full. The moon lies fair upon the straits. On the French coast, the light gleams and is gone. The cliffs of England stand glimmering and vast out in the tranquil bay. Come to the window, sweet is the night air." So in the first few lines, what poet tries to explain that he is standing in front of the famous Dover Beach and he is watching the sea coast, he is watching the coming and going back of waves, but the waves are not sounding great. There is a kind of melancholiness, there is a kind of despair, there is a kind of sadness in the sound of the waves. The opening lines depict the scenery of the Dover Beach. The sea is very calm. The tides are coming and going back with full speed. The streets of Dover Beach look bright in the light of the moon. There is a moonlight on the sea, and because of that moonlight, the entire sea coast has been lit up. The cliffs looms large in the bay. The sand seems white because of the moonlight. The poet draws the attention of his beloved to the sound of waves which alternately advance and withdraw, carrying away the pebbles from the beach. Each time they withdraw and throwing them up against the beach each time they advance. That repetition.
Sorry to interrupt, Gohad sir, but your
Yes.
PPT is not moving. Your
Okay,
PPT is
okay.
not moving.
Now,
Yeah, it's working.
okay. So there is a repeatedness in the patterns of the waves. The waves are coming to the shore and they are going back. But the only thing that remains still, that is the sadness in the sound of the waves. Only from the long line of spray where the ebb meets the moon blanched sand, listen you hear the grunting roar of pebbles, which the waves suck back and fling at their return to the high strand, begin and cease, and then again begin, with tremulous cadence, slow, and bring the eternal note of sadness. So Matthew Arnold is repeating again and again here the sadness, the desperateness of his emotions, that the sea is very great, but still it is very powerful, but still it does not make the happy sound. So that desperateness the sadness is spread all over the world. And again, he says that, in other words, each time the waves retreats back, they come, they move forward, they goes back, it reminds him that there is perpetual sadness in the entire world. There is nothing to be happy of. We cannot be happy because the sadness had loomed very large into the life of human beings. And again, moving forward, the poet then takes the examples of Greek poet Sophocles. He says, I quote, Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. So the poet is saying that I am not the only person who is witnessing this sad note, who is witnessing this sad sound by the waves of the ocean. But thousands of years ago, some centuries ago, there was a Greek poet, great Greek poet, Sophocles. He had also heard it, that sad sound, that emptiness, that despair, that hopelessness in the sound of the waves also. So I am not the only person, he is stating this here. The poet finds a note of sadness in this sound, and he sees that the Greek poet, Greek dramatist Sophocles, he also had interpreted the sound of waves as sad. Sophocles, on hearing this sound, was reminded of the tragedy of human life. This sadness, this sound of the sadness of the waves is compared to the tragedy and misery of human life. As we see that there is no gaiety, there is no joyousness, there is no happiness in the sound of the sea of waves. So there is no joyousness, there is no gaiety, there is no joy in the life of human beings also. Human life has also made very sad. Moving to next stanza. Then the poet says that, and I quote, the sea of faith was once too at the full, and round the earth shows what like the folds at a bright girdle furled, but now I only have its melancholy, long withdrawing roar. So in this stanza, the poet goes back and he says, long ago, there was religious faith in the minds of the human being. The poet points out that once upon a time, this faithness, this religious faith, this belief in religion was full in the human mind. But now that faithfulness, that belief is taken with doubt and disbelief. Now, men are no longer keeping faith in religiousness, they have disbelief in their mind. And this doubt and disbelief has combined to throw back the waves of the faith from the world, leaving the world barren and cheerless. So, because of this disbelief, because of this faithlessness, because of this void in religion, what has it done? It has done that the human life has become cheerless. Human life has become barren. Human life has become sad because men do not have religious faith in their life. The place of this religious faith has been taken by the void, has been taken by the skepticism. Men have become skeptic. They are no longer make belief in God. He means that religion has lost its hold upon the minds of the people who have now become skeptical. And everybody in this world have become skeptic. Now moving forward, the poet says, retreating to the breath or the night wind down to the vast ages drear and naked shingles on the world. The poet says that there is nothing in this world which can make the human being keep belief in God, in religion. So man has become so skeptic that nothing in this world can compel him to be to make believe in the religion or in God itself. They have gone too far that nobody can convince them that there is Almighty in this world, and we should keep faith in that Almighty. And in the last stanza, the poet says, and I quote, ah, love, let us be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy, nor love, nor light, nor certitude, nor peace, nor help for pain. So here the poet says that in this entire world, the only thing that is true love is the only source of comfort in this world. So the poet says that we have to make true love, we have to make true relation with other people, and that true love, that true relation, that true faith can be the source of comfort in this world. The world appears beautiful and new, but in reality, it contains neither joy, nor love, nor hope, nor certainty, nor peace. But the poet says that if we do not keep faith in religion, if we do not keep faith in God, if we do not love truly to our neighbors, to our fellow human beings, if we do not make trust in other people, if we do not trust them, so what will happen? Then the world will be without joy, without love, without hope, without certainty, and without peace. There will be no hope, no certainty, no love, no peace, no joy if we do not keep faith in religion, in God, in other human beings, or in our neighbors. So, to maintain the decorum or to maintain peace, to maintain joy, to maintain certainty in this world, we have to love truly, we have to honor truly, we have to keep faith in God, in religion truly. And after following this only, there will be joy, there will be faith, there will be certainty, and there will be love in this world. Further, he says, and we are here as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. These last three lines are the gist of this poem. These are the very famous lines. In this, poet Matthew Arnold is expressing the actual situation of human beings. Now, what is the current situation of human beings? It is portrayed here by the poet Matthew Arnold. Now, because of this hopelessness, because of this despair, the human beings are behaving like they are aimless in their lives. They are running uh, behind money, behind power, and our situation, the situation of human beings, how it is made just like those soldiers which are fighting in the battleground. They are fighting against their enemies, but they do not know why they are fighting, for whom they are fighting, what is the reason of their fighting. Are they fighting for the truth, or are they fighting for false things? They do not know, but still they are fighting. The same is the situation of human beings. We are running after power, we are running after money, we are running after materialistic things, but we do not know why we are doing that. Running after money is not going to get us what we want in life, what we have to achieve in life. This materialistic life is not going to get us anything. So, in the last three lines, the poet concludes his poem and he narrates the condition of the human beings, that they are like these soldiers who do not know why they are fighting, what is the cause of their fighting. So, how this is how the poet ends his poem, and he says that the world, he says, is like a dark plain, it is like a battlefield, while men are like foolish soldiers fighting in darkness. They do not know why they are fighting. Without knowing the reason why they are fighting, the poet means that all the struggle, all the activities, and all the exertions of human beings for running after money, running after power, running after materialistic things, these are all meaningless and purposelessness if they have no religious faith. And whatever we achieve in our life, that will be hopeless, that will be meaningless, that will be endless if we do not have little faith in religion or in God. And the present situation of human being is just like those men who do not keep faith in religion and in God, and they run after money like anything. So this is the whole poem. This is the whole summary of the poem. Now the conclusion. To conclude this poem, the poet says that we have to, whatever negativity is there, whatever life has taken uh, form, we have to understand one thing, that we have to keep faith in religiousness and in God. That is the only path which is ahead of us, that poet says. So that concludes the poem. Now there are certain imageries which Matthew Arnold has taken. The poem is very rich in imagery. The very opening lines contain vivid description. The sea is calm, the tide is full, the moon shines fair on the straits of Dover. The light twinkles on the French coast, the cliffs, etc. The poet here makes the picture vivid, and he tries to make it so vivid that the whole scenery just become alive in front of our eyes, in front of us. He has he has used some figure of speech also. The picture of the sea waves advancing and retreating is admirably employed to convey the decline of religious faith in the world. The folds of a bright girdle furled. We have still another metaphor in the last three lines where men without religious faith are ignorant soldiers fighting in darkness without knowing the reason. These metaphors, these contradictions, we can easily see in this poem. He has used some tremendous phrases also, which have become the part of everyday language. The phrases like with tremulous cadence show the eternal note of sadness, the turbid ebb and flow of human misery, its melancholy, long withdrawing roar are the vivid phrases displayed by Matthew Arnold. And there is a kind of music also in this poem, which makes this poem very lyrical. So we can see the music also, the repetitions of words, of sounds like F and I, etc. These points also provides reader a joy to read this poem. So I hope that the reader or the students will find it very helpful, my presentation, for their study. Hello? Hello, ma'am. Hello?
Hello.
Ma'am. Is
Yes,
anything
sir.
else? Shall I? Is anything
Yes.
else need to?
Uh, no, sir. I think it's sufficient.
Okay.
Sir, you need to stop the sharing.
Yes. Okay. I have stopped it.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, a very wonderful presentation on an explanation of this very world-famous poem, Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold. Sir, as you have explained, this poem indeed expresses a crisis of faith, with the speaker acknowledging the diminished standing of Christianity, which the speaker sees as being unable to withstand the rising tide of scientific discovery. New research and intellectual inquiry cast doubt on humankind's central and special role in the universe. The speaker in the poem senses this change almost subconsciously, seeing and hearing it in the sea that the speaker is looking out upon. Very nice presentation, sir.
Thank
So
you, ma'am.
now we move towards the formal vote of thanks. We now move towards the formal vote of thanks. It is indeed an honor for me to propose the formal vote of thanks. I, on behalf of the organizing colleges, propose my most humble sense of gratitude towards Dr. Nitin Gohad sir for presenting such a wonderful deliberation on Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold. I also owe my gratitude to respected Dr. Sujata Vyas Madam, Director, Vasantrao Naik Institute of Arts and Social Sciences, Nagpur. I am also grateful to Dr. Urmila Dabir Madam, Principal and Chairman of Board of Studies of RTM Nagpur University. I also extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Kalpana Borkar Madam, Principal Jawaharlal Nehru College, and Dr. Anil Gaikwad sir, I also owe my gratitude to Dr. Kapil Singhal sir for making me a part of this wonderful program and giving me this opportunity. We are also grateful to all the students who attended this session and will attend in the future on this YouTube channel. I am also thankful to the technical team for their technical support. And with this, I take leave and declare that today's session is over. And we will meet in the second session by Amol Ghumade sir on the loss leader within a 15 minutes. Thank you, everyone.
At the outset, I want to also thank the organizer for giving me this wonderful opportunity and sharing my views with the students. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Singhal sir.
Yes, I am Dr. Ashish Shinde. Singhal sir is somewhere else, and he will
Okay.
start the meeting of 11 a.m.
He is
11
in the
a.m.
conference.
Yeah,
He is in
yeah.
the
Okay,
conference.
okay. Fine,
Yeah.
sir. So
Okay.
I
Shall
think
I
we
end the meeting?
Yes, definitely. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.